Good morning and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. And here we are on day 122, and I'm continuing the story of Houshkanete and Weeani. Now, you might remember that Houshkanete had gone across the meadow with the intent of grabbing up Weeani and throwing her into his bag of animals to add her to his animal stew. He thought that Weeani would make great flavoring and spice things up in his animal stew. And he got there and was very shocked when Weeani, he was shocked that she just sat there on the rock, but he was even more shocked that she said she was happy to see him. Well, as it turns out, she began playing her flute and began to get Houshkanete to dance. And at first, she got him to lift one leg and then the other, kind of hop back and forth, because Houshkanete had said that he was not a good dancer at all, and he couldn't dance. But Weeani, in the persuasive way that she lovingly spoke to him, got him to start dancing. And after he'd hopped around for a little bit, he asked him to start spinning, which he did. Now, I have to tell you that Weeani, as this whole thing was going on, kept encouraging him and telling him how great of a dancer he was. And you know how that works. Whenever you praise anyone, appreciate them for what they're doing, it helps them do better. In almost any way. Any time that you can show some appreciation for something that somebody's doing, it helps, especially when it's difficult. So Weeani is encouraging him as a dancer and begins to have him spin. And he spins, and that bag of animals is kind of, the faster he spins, it kind of goes off from his shoulder a little bit. And then every so often, Weeani calls out, "Switch directions!" And he spins the other direction. Now, I have to tell you, because Houshkanete is such a big creature, and because his feet are just so gnarly, so rough, as he begins to turn one direction and then the other, he begins to dig a hole into the ground as he's spinning. And the dirt piles up around the hole that he begins to dig, almost like a drill bit going down into the earth. And Weeani just keeps having him spin one direction and the other. And the truth is, she's just, spontaneously kind of in this flow where words just keep coming out kind of perfectly. And she doesn't really have a plan, but everything begins to unfold in kind of an unusual way. And at a certain point, she stops and she says, I can't go on. I can't go on. And Houshkanete, he's gotten so he's actually enjoying the dancing, which, if you've ever danced, especially if you're kind of grumpy, you start dancing, it's hard to stay grumpy. Houshkanete stops and goes, why are you stopping? I'm very much enjoying dancing. Please, keep playing. I keep dancing. No. No. I can't dance. I can't play any longer. I can't go on. The next part, it won't work at all. Oh, come now. Please, play. I'll dance. You play. I'll dance. I'm a good dancer. You say I'm a good dancer. I like dancing. Yes. Very much. I like this. Please keep playing. No. I can't. I just can't. I can't go on. What is the problem? the next part of the dance in the plane. You need a partner. Well, Houshkanete, he thought for a little bit, and he didn't quite know what to do. And, he was slow. He didn't come up with solutions very quickly, and this seemed to be a difficult problem, because who would dance with him? I mean, he'd never partnered with anybody or anything before. He was all about eating things up. Who wants to be around that? He didn't have any friends, because anything that came close to him, he'd just gobble up. He says, me want to dance more. Oh, no, I cannot go on. No, that next part, you must have partner. He was very grumpy about this, and he sits there, he keeps thinking. He takes one of his big old hands and he rubs his face a little bit and taps on his head and hopes that he can think of something. And suddenly it comes to him. He says, oh, I know what we do. I have solution. Look, I've bag full of partners. I'll just take one out. So he opens up the bag and he pulls out a lion. The lion is not happy about this whole thing. Oh, this is great, says Weeani. I'll keep playing. Now you spin with your partner. And she begins playing. One hand is holding the bag. Two hands are holding the lion close to his chest. And the other hand is swinging wildly about, helping him to spin. He's spinning and spinning. Now, the one thing that Houshkanete does not realize is that he's spinning one direction and the other. And as he's doing this, he's kind of going down. Well, Weeani, she keeps playing. She keeps playing the flute. And as she keeps playing, she keeps calling out, switch directions. And she switches direction. And then she calls out, switch partners. Switch partners. Switch partners. Houshkanete thinks for a minute, and he's like, oh. He throws the lion off, and he grabs another animal out of the bag, which happens to be a deer this time, and clutching the deer close to his breast, he begins to spin again under Weeani's direction and her playing. And he spins one direction and the other, one direction, the other. And Houshkanete begins to go down further and further. Switch partners! Off the deer goes, and out comes a raccoon. Switch partners! Off the raccoon goes, and out comes a bear. Switch partners! Away goes the bear. Up comes a vulture. Switch partners! Out goes the one vulture, and comes another one. Switch partners! Switch directions! And Houshkanete keeps going down and down and down. And pretty soon, he's throwing the animals up out of a hole that is way deeper than he is high. Well, Weeani just keeps playing, keeps directing, spinning one direction, then the other, down and down and down. Houshkanete goes as he spins. Well, at a certain point, as Weeani is playing, she hears from down in that hole a voice that cries out, oh, no more partners. No more dancing, no more partners. Now Weeani stops and she says, no more partners? No, you have no more partners? No more partners. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'll be right back, she says. Just stay right there. I'll come back. I'll bring you many partners. Well, Weeani, again, she's just acting. She's just taking one moment at a time and going from one thing to the next. And the thought that runs through her mind is, there's about to be a celebration. There's a lot of people that are gathering, and well, the people come from all over in order to come to this celebration. She thinks there's going to be a lot of people here. She runs back to her village and she starts to tell everyone what has happened. We'll leave the story there. Hopefully, we'll finish it up tomorrow. Thanks for joining.